Hello, brownie fairies. It's Françoise, always supporting your happiness and success. Last time on a stroll, I invited you to the British Museum, which is like my favorite best mate, and told you my story. So today, I thought it would be a good idea to introduce the place and close friends, which are like my family. So, I want to invite you today to St. James Park, one of the most beautiful parks in London, which always welcomes me with a cheerful smile, like my family. As you can see in this audiobook picture, it is just like a peaceful countryside with a large lawn full of green trees and full of beautiful birdsong, making you feel so good just by looking at it. Yes, this photo was taken on a sunny summer day in August. Therefore, in keeping with these sunny feelings, today's menu at Françoise Audiobook Café is a picnic lunch. The menu is lemon tea, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, green grapes, camembert cheese, and croissant. I'm so happy today because it's all my favorites, and I hope you enjoy it as well. Yes, please imagine you enjoy your picnic lunch and the beautiful scenery of St. James Park with me, and you are listening to my story. Yes, I hope you can take a happy break for a while. I was able to discover this beautiful family like St. James Park thanks to my thesis research project in London. My research project was mainly to analyze and criticize the UK policies and the legislations for them and suggest alternatives. Based on Hansard, the UK parliamentary debate records, the white paper, a material for policy making, the green paper, which further specified policies, the committee reports, which cover the topics in depth in committees, and the House of Commons library research papers, which are published to help the MPs, the members of Parliament, approach policy topics in more depth and expertise. Well, because I always had to read these UK parliamentary records and government documents all day, every day, from morning to evening when I was in London, now I feel like they are my good old friends and comfortable and lovely family. Yes, so today, while taking a stroll in St. James Park, let me tell you a little bit about my good old Westminster friends who are like my family. In the case of Hansard, it is said that it came to be called Hansard because the name of the company that published the UK parliamentary debate records was Hansard. It vividly records all the moments of debate and speech in the UK Parliament, the scene of heated debate over hundreds of years. It is therefore truly a world-class historical and cultural heritage that has been preserved. So, every time I read Hansard, I always thought, wow, such a great speech, Such wonderful debates with admiration like this. So, for example, on a truly historic moment, when the national insurance system was first introduced in February 1946, the MPs, the members of parliament, were so happy and excited. Therefore, you can almost feel their excitement and joy through their speeches. This part was not yet posted on the internet, so only people who had flipped through Hansard page by page at the library could see it. Therefore, I remember when I read this part while being so happy and excited, I was like, wow, I'm watching a really historical scene now. At the same time, there's a funny moment as well. In a very friendly atmosphere, an MP was trying to give a speech by quoting a line from a children's song saying, "Can you remember this phrase in one of the children's songs we used to sing when we were kids?" Then other fellow MPs started shouting, "Sing it! Sing it!" So the Speaker of Parliament had to say, "Ladies and gentlemen, calm down, please." While reading Hansard, therefore, I thought, oh, I'm so touched. These people are having really heated debates, but at the base of it all, there is a wonderful debate culture that truly respects and cares for each other. What a wonderful parliamentary democracy. In fact, when I was studying in London, I heard critical thinking is crucial to be an academic. I heard these words so many times. So I tried really hard to maintain a critical attitude when I wrote a thesis. But, as I said, while reading all the UK Parliament records and government documents, which I had to read, I was impressed every time I read them. So, one day at a time, I wrote in my diary, just like a primary school student, wow, I'm really touched, deeply, really touched. I hope that one day in Korea, or no, in the whole world and the entire universe, a true parliamentary democracy like this, with full of political confidence that can have such great debates, will blossom, making the world a happier and better place for all of us. Well, I'm not saying that the UK is a utopia or heaven on earth. The country still has a mountain of homework to solve in the future, just like any other country in the world. But at least the debates and speeches at the Parliament, not just for 10 or 20 years, but over a period of 100 or 200 years, are recorded, stored, and proudly made public in libraries and on the internet so that anyone can read them. Personally, I was deeply touched with this political transparency, fairness, and confidence. However, you can't write this kind of feeling in your thesis, right? So, even though I always try to maintain a critical attitude throughout my thesis very hard, Actually, I was so envious of the tradition of such a great parliamentary democracy. Well, I feel so happy to be able to confess this to you all now. And yes, that makes me feel so good. Well, but as you all know, no matter how much you like your work, you can't always be happy with that. So, although most of the time I was happy and excited while reading the UK parliamentary records and government documents, there were also many times when I wondered, for example, what's the intention of these people in enacting this kind of policy? And I couldn't understand their legislative purpose at all. There were so many times when the thesis really wasn't progressing at all, and I couldn't see an inch ahead. So one day, it was just a time like that. I just can't write it at all. But still, I had a supervision meeting. My supervisor just gave me encouragement as usual. Your thesis will be a great little book. Everything is under control. Just stretch your wings a bit. And I said, many thanks indeed, Professor. I will do my best, which was my answer with confidence as usual. However, in fact, I ended the supervision meeting without being able to find a clear solution and left feeling frustrated. What should I do now? Well, I need to take a stroll a bit. At the time, I remembered reading something like this. A Stanford University study found that taking a stroll improves creativity by more than 70%. So everyone, let's all go for a stroll. So I thought, okay, I guess I should go for a stroll. I will come up with some good ideas, right? I hope it comes to mind. Oh, please. Please save me. I started taking a stroll around Westminster, the Houses of Parliament, with my prayer. Then, so strangely and surprisingly, all of a sudden, in the middle of busy central London, there appeared a wide open lawn, a dense forest of tall trees that seemed to be hundreds of years old, and beautiful birds singing. A picturesque, beautiful countryside-like scenery suddenly appeared. Am I dreaming? This is it magic? I was so amazed, and slowly I entered the beautiful and peaceful countryside-like scenery. On the vast green lawn and under the trees, squirrels were eagerly eating something, Birds were singing beautifully and peacefully. A gentle breeze was blowing through the green trees. And indeed, it felt like I was on a magical trip to the middle of a quiet and comfortable countryside. So slowly, I did enjoy this truly peaceful and magical place. Then suddenly I saw maybe 200 or 300 years, really old, really beautiful, big trees, and their green leaves gently swaying in the wind. Beautifully open, wide green lawns and ponds with a truly open, high blue sky in the background. As I was looking at this, I suddenly realized, oh yes, as long as human civilization continues, in the past, in the future, and even at this very moment, countless people are and will be struggling to prepare speeches and debates which will be recorded in Hansard, and to produce white paper, green paper, and such policy-related government documents, with numerous moments of agony and decision, for the happiness of many people, as well as for themselves. Well, I guess I'm not the only one having this kind of hard time. Okay, we are all having a hard time. Let's all do our best together. As soon as I felt this kind of sense of solidarity, vertically and horizontally, I started laughing. Then something that had been weighing heavily on my heart until then slipped away, and I felt very happy and at ease again. Because I felt so good, I just let my imagination run free. And the sentence that came to my mind at the moment was the diamond metaphor. A diamond was a mere coal without high pressure and temperature. In other words, according to chemical equations, coal and diamond are just the same lumps of carbon, right? However, when the same lump of carbon endures extreme conditions of high temperature and pressure on the ground for billions of years, it becomes a diamond crystal. So in difficult moments, I always try to remember this metaphor to cheer myself up. So that sentence came to mind at the very moment. I felt so happy that I forgot everything, thinking, oh, what did I have a hard time with? Got so excited, came back to my desk, worked really hard on my thesis, got my degree in the end, and now I'm smiling and telling you my story. What a perfect happy ending story. But at the time, I really thought, oh, was I dreaming? No, there must have been magic. Later, I found out that the magical place was, in fact, yes, St. James Park, one of London's most beautiful royal parks, located halfway between Westminster, the Houses of Parliament, and Buckingham Palace. Yes, that's why I told you today about my memories of St. James Park, a family-like space that always welcomes me with a fresh smile of a green forest. In fact, I went to London to study without knowing that much about London. So I experienced a lot of really amazing and magical moments like this in London. Therefore, as I take a stroll with you, I'm going to tell you, one by one, my magical London stories. I had so much fun writing them, so I'd be really happy if you also had fun and gained strength while listening to my stories. Okay, so the second cheering slogan I want to share with you today is the diamond metaphor, which I remembered back at St. James Park. We are people who decided to become diamonds together, right? So I hope we will overcome high pressure, high temperature, and any difficult moments with laughing together, because we already know that we will become diamonds together and meet with bright smiles. I hope you remember it and always have strength. Next time, I'm going to tell you a story that I experienced while taking a stroll near Waterloo Bridge on the River Thames, which is in some ways more interesting than magic, I think. It's a story I personally really like, so I'm looking forward to telling it to you as soon as possible. Well, I did enjoy the story today, and I hope you all had a happy time as well. Oh, by the way, as I always said, you can listen to the story I told you today in Korean as well. So, for those of you thinking, I want to test how well I can understand Korean, just for fun. Please be sure to visit the English Françoise book Café, as stated in the description box below. Okay now, have a very happy and a very productive day. And see you next time then, Brownie Fairies!